What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over some of the different kinds of accounts that you can have so that you can decide which ones are right for your situation. Let's jump in and take a look at these. Let's start with brokerage accounts. These are simple since there's really only two main kinds, cash and margin. Basically, the only difference between these two is a cash account only allows you to make trades with settled funds that are in your account. If you make a trade, you will have to wait for those funds to settle again in your account before you can use them to buy another security. A margin account allows you to buy securities with money that is borrowed. Now, just like a credit card or any other form of borrowing money, there is an interest rate associated with this type of account. The interest rates vary from broker to broker, but usually the more money you have, the lower the interest rate will be for the money you want to borrow. For example, if you use Fidelity and have between 0 and 25K, your rate will be 8.25%. But if you have over $1 million, then you'll only pay 4%. So if you got $1 million bucks, it's cheap. One thing to note is that some brokers like Robinhood will default your account to what they call an instant account, which is a margin account. So just be aware that if you aren't paying attention, you could be using margin when you think you are using just a cash account. It should also go without saying that using margin is more risky than using cash since you could lose money that you actually don't have and that you're borrowing. Not to mention, paying interest on funds isn't very fun. Just be aware of those things when you go into a margin account so that you can make the appropriate risk tolerance analysis for your own personal life and if you want to go margin or stay cash. Let's move on to 401ks and IRAs. For anyone that doesn't know, retirement age is currently 59.5, and that's when withdrawals can be made from these accounts without any other headaches. 401k contributions for people under the age of 50 are currently at $19,500 a year, and if you're older, then it goes up to $26,000 a year. 401ks are great because your employer will take your contributions right out of your paycheck without you having to do anything. A lot of times they will also match a certain percentage that you put in. I personally contribute enough to get my max employer match since free money is 100% rate of return. There are typically two main types of these accounts, traditional or Roth. Traditional means you get a tax deduction on the money you contribute now, but you will have to pay taxes on withdrawals made in retirement. With a Roth, you don't get a tax break now, but once you start making withdrawals in retirement, you don't have to pay taxes like you would with a traditional. I'm a fan of Roth, but that's because I plan on spending ungodly amounts of money in retirement and don't want to pay taxes every time I pull money out to buy another Lambo, but that's just me. Let's look at IRAs now. If you don't have access to a 401k or you've maxed out your contributions already, these are probably your next best bet. They allow for much more control over your investments compared to a 401k plan, and in most 401ks, you're limited to what your employer offers in terms of funds, which can be pretty small. This isn't the case with IRAs. The downside to an IRA is that the annual contribution limits are much lower. The max that you can contribute to these is $6,000 per year. There are also income limits with Roth IRAs, so you may not even be eligible to use one. Be sure to look at the correct information since these limits change over time. You don't want to end up contributing more than you're allowed and getting slapped in the face by the IRS in April. There are no income limits surrounding traditional IRAs, but there are income limits for who can use contributions as deductions on their taxes. These limits only apply if you have a retirement plan at work, so keep that in mind and make sure to look up the most current rules about these plans so you know what to expect come tax time. Next, let's take a look at some accounts for your children, and the first one is called a UGMA account, also known as a custodial account. These are accounts that you can open for a minor, which is either under the age of 18 or 21, depending on what your state says a minor is these days. These accounts can be contributed to by anyone, but any money that is contributed to this account cannot be taken out, so don't try to steal your grandma's gift to your kid. It's theirs now. You can make trades and invest how you see fit though, which is a huge plus to these. There are no tax advantages to these accounts, but be sure to talk with a tax professional so you know what to expect for your state. These kinds of accounts, in my opinion, are something anyone with children should consider. Instead of Aunt Regina giving your kid a sweater for Christmas that they won't wear, you can ask her to put $50 into your custodial account, and you can teach them about compound interest and how to build wealth. Once the child becomes of age, the account turns into a standard brokerage account and becomes theirs to do with as they please. Hopefully, you taught them well, but that's on you, not me. Lastly, let's look at 529 plans. These are state-sponsored plans, so they will have slight variations, but in general, a 529 allows you to contribute money that will grow tax-free as long as the money is used for education. There are no contribution limits, and unlike a UGMA, this account does not transfer to the beneficiary at a certain age. Since the beneficiary can be changed at any time, if one of your kids doesn't want to attend school, then you can change it to your other child, stepchild, adopted child, spouse, or even a grandchild. Any way you look at it, being able to take advantage of tax-free growth to pay for higher education expenses is a great tool for planning for your child's future. These accounts are great to start when you just have a child and have 18 years of tax-free growth to take advantage of towards paying those expensive tuition costs. You can also pay for things related to higher education like fees, room and board, and even computers. The other great thing about this is that when your child ends up with a scholarship, then you can withdraw the amount of money equal to the scholarship and give it to them without any penalty. In that case, you will most likely have to pay regular taxes on the money, but there will be no penalty. Talk about a good way to incentivize your child by having them push for those scholarships. They're gonna get cash from you for the same amount of money that they gain scholarships for. That's the last account I'm gonna go over in this video. If you're new to the investment world and this helped you, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. If you don't have a brokerage and you wanna sign up for Webull, use my referral link down in the description so we can both get some free stocks to jumpstart you. Also, check out the Personify website so you can sign up to get onboarded onto our app and connect with people in the investing community. While you're there, you can also sign up for our newsletter so you can accelerate your investing gains with some of the Personify team's weekly stock market plays to make some big bucks. The link for our Facebook group is also linked in the description if you want to join the conversation there. That's all I have for you all today. Thanks for watching and take care.